that make you feel something long after the screen goes dark. Every week, I share emotional true stories about love, betrayal, truth, and the unpredictable things that happen inside the human heart. So if you're someone who believes that stories are powerful, that they can shake us, comfort us, and sometimes even save us, then you're in the right place. Now, take a breath, because what I'm about to share with you is not just a story. It is a moment, a single night, that shattered everything I thought I understood about loyalty, family, and the quiet courage hidden in the people we least expect. This is the night my stepson came home drunk and told me the truth that destroyed my marriage. My name is Emily Carter, and this is what really happened at IT. Started on an ordinary Friday night. Or at least, I thought it was ordinary. The house was quiet, wrapped in that kind of still darkness that makes you feel like the whole world is asleep except you. I had just finished cleaning the kitchen, putting away the last few dishes, and was about to head upstairs when I heard it. The front doorknob rattled. Then the door creaked open. A second later, Jake, my stepson, stumbled inside. Even before he fully stepped into the light, the smell hit me. Not just alcohol. Not just the sharp sting of vodka mixed with the stale sweetness of beer. There was something heavier in the air. Something that didn't belong to a night of partying. Regret. Anger. Pain. Jake wasn't the type to drink like this. Sure, he was a college kid, but he was usually calm, composed, even a little quiet at times. But tonight, something was different. His eyes were bloodshot. His shirt wrinkled, partly untucked. His hair messy like he'd run his hands through it too many times. He swayed slightly as he walked in, lifting his gaze to me. And in that moment I felt it. Something was very, very wrong. Before I tell you what Jake said, before I tell you how my whole life split open in a matter of minutes, you need to understand how we all got here. Because stories don't start with the moment everything breaks. They start long before that, in the quiet places where we think we're safe. I met Tom when I was 38. At that time, I was divorced, tired, and honestly, disappointed in love. I had spent years giving my heart to people who didn't know what to do with it. People who mistook softness for weakness, who took without giving, who loved only in the shallow, convenient sense of the word. And then there was Tom. I met him at a small community fundraiser. He wasn't loud. He wasn't trying to impress anyone. He just existed in this steady, grounded way that made everyone around him feel calmer. At one point, I was struggling to carry several heavy boxes to my car, and he offered to help. That tiny moment became a conversation. That conversation became a connection. And that connection, well, it changed everything. He listened when I spoke. He asked thoughtful questions. He seemed gentle in a way I didn't know grown men could be. By the end of that night, I wasn't just hopeful. I was convinced that maybe, just maybe, life was giving me a second chance. A year later, Tom and I were married. And for a while life felt peaceful, steady, warm, like curling up under a blanket after years of standing in the rain. Tom worked as a financial consultant. He was punctual, neatly dressed, careful with his words. He liked routines, morning coffee at 7:15, gym on Tuesdays and Thursdays, a short walk after dinner. I owned a small floral shop downtown. It wasn't a huge business, but it was mine, and it filled my days with color and fragrance and a kind of simple joy I'd always wanted. On weekends, Tom and I would cook together. Pasta one day, stir-fry the next, laughing about silly things like who burnt the garlic or who forgot to buy onions again. During those early months, life felt normal in the best possible way. Tom's son, Jake, was away at college at the time. I had only met him briefly before the wedding. Quiet kid, polite but distant. He didn't call me mom, and I didn't expect him to. All I wanted was to be a safe place in his life, not a replacement, not an intruder. When he visited that first Christmas after the wedding, I noticed how careful he was, how he kept his feelings tucked inside, how he stayed respectful but far away. And I understood. Kids of divorce learn to build walls early. I didn't push him. I didn't force myself into his world. But I hoped secretly, quietly, that one day he'd trust me enough to step into mine. They say peace doesn't always vanish in a storm. Sometimes it fades like a whisper, slowly, quietly, until one day you realize it's gone. For me, it started with Tom coming home late. At first he texted. Meeting ran long. Client emergency. Be home soon. I didn't question it. I didn't want to be the paranoid wife. My first marriage had ended because I spent too much time fearing the worst. I promised myself I wouldn't repeat old mistakes. But soon the texts stopped coming. And Tom began walking through the door after midnight. Not drunk, no. Just slightly buzzed, smelling faintly of whiskey. And perfume. Not mine. A sweet, floral scent I didn't recognize. I tried to ignore it. Tried to tell myself I was overthinking. Tried to keep believing in the man who once felt like my second chance. But the ache started growing. Quiet at first. Then sharp. Then impossible to ignore. Love can blind you. But the truth has its own way of finding cracks. A few weeks later, Jake returned home for the summer. He was older now, taller, leaner, more mature. But something else had changed. His eyes. They looked heavier. Sadder. Filled with something unspoken. He barely spoke to Tom. When they passed each other in the hallway, they exchanged nothing more than polite nods. Two men living in the same house, but not the same world. Jake would linger around the house, fixing things that didn't need fixing. The squeaky door hinge, the loose cabinet handle, the faucet that dripped one drop too many. I'd catch him watching me sometimes. Not in a strange way, but with the kind of look people carry when they're holding a secret they don't know how to release. One evening, I found him sitting alone in the living room, staring at the blank television screen like it was showing him something only he could see. Rough day? I asked gently. He shrugged. Then he laughed, not a happy laugh but a tired, bitter one. You could say that, he murmured. College? No, just life. It was the first time I truly saw it. The pain he'd been carrying, and the wedge between him and his father. It wasn't new. It was old, deep, and rooted in something I didn't yet understand. That Friday night, the night everything unraveled, Tom texted me earlier saying he'd be late again. I didn't reply. What was there to say? Around 11:30 p.m., Jake stumbled through the door. Drunk, angry, broken. Jake. I rushed toward him. Are you okay? He waved me off, but not arrogantly, more like he was trying to hold himself together. Then he looked at me, and I will never forget that look. It was the expression of someone who had held the truth too long. Someone who couldn't keep carrying it alone. Don't pretend you don't know, he muttered. My heart jumped. Know what? He collapsed onto the couch, burying his face in his hands. Dad, he spat out. He's not who you think he is. Jake, you're drunk. Maybe you should. He cut me off sharply. No, I'm not lying, Emily. His voice cracked. He's cheating on you.